Hello, fellow risk takers, and welcome to my worst investment ever. Stories of loss to keep you winning. In our community, we know that to win in investing, you must take risk, but to win big, you've got to reduce it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on a mission to help 1 million people reduce risk in their lives. To reduce risk in your life, go to myworstinvestmentever.com today and take the risk reduction assessment I created from the lessons I've learned from more than 500 guests. Fellow risk takers, this is your worst podcast host, Andrew Stotz of A Stotz Academy, and I'm here with featured guest, Dr. Panu Boonsombat, or nicknamed Tay, or even more importantly, on TikTok you can see him as Dr. Opa. Tay, are you ready to join our mission?
Yes, Andrew, thank you very much for having me here today.
Yeah, I've just been scrolling through your TikTok and watching it, and I got a lot of questions for you, but I want to introduce you to the audience. So, Dr. Panu Boonsombat, or we're going to call him Tay, is a personal branding professional and the owner of Dr. Opa Facebook page, Instagram page, and TikTok account. With almost 300,000 followers, 52 million views, and he makes a point without dancing or wearing a bikini, and over 3 million likes. Tay, can you take a minute and tell us what value you bring to this world?
Yeah, I mean, actually, during the past, right, I've been involved in a bit of, marketing for a lot of companies, and as the advertisement fee, starting to like increase like crazy, I mean, double, triple, so most of the brands look for the alternative, to in order to reach their target audience, right? So TikTok has been very, how to say, generous, in terms of the reaches, free, I mean, generic reach. Yeah, it's so effective and efficient. But having said that, right, the brands have to have the, how to say, the strategy in order to get, the audience engaged over a period of time. So that's how, my services give to the brand is to offer them the guideline, on how to um, better target their audience and also how to keep the audience engaged, especially the target, to be engaged on a particular TikTok channel.
Mhm.
So yeah, by offering them the know-how, they end up, saving a lot of, advertising fees and getting, more target audience, get the audience to engage with the how to say the TikToker, that the brand selected, to represent the products and services. Yeah.
So I'm curious, for the old school guys like me, and for old school companies and all that, we look at TikTok and it's very intimidating and it's flashy. And one of the questions that I always look at, and as you get older, you think, okay, what's the payback here? And I'm just curious, like, how should someone think about TikTok? Is it just brand awareness, or is it driving uh, people to particular products or services, or is it brand awareness at a much lower cost? Like, what is it that TikTok can do for a business that they should be doing it now?
Okay, that very good question. TikTok started off, by concentrating their content on in terms of the dancing, singing, showing off the talent, pranking, all kinds. But that period has actually um, long gone. Now they have moved into the marketplace, e-marketplace segment, education segment, professional segment, meaning that they need to expand to the wider audience like you and me actually.
Mm.
Yeah, people who just don't want to watch just dancing and singing pretty girls, sexy bikinis, not those kind, but they just want to get concise and short, something that they can really learn in a short period of time. So that's how the short clips become really popular over the past 2 years.
Mm.
And having said that, right, not only reach or not only brand awareness that you can get, now TikTok has got TikTok Shop, or you can even link, put the link on TikTok. TikTok is very generous. I have to say that again. You can just click the link, just one click, and you can link it to like live shop. Like over here in Thailand, people shop, over Line official account, or you can even put a Facebook link or YouTube link, in order to
Mm.
close the close the sales, over other platform as well. So it's actually getting into the how to say the whole e-commerce transaction, starting from brand awareness, consideration, and the last one is to close the sales. So definitely you can use TikTok as the market, reach for your product and services. Yeah.
So let's take an example like me. Let's say I have a course. It's based upon a book that I wrote called How to Start Building Your Wealth Investing in the Stock Market. It's very beginner, basic, but it also provides really actionable things that people can do to start investing in the stock market. And that course is about a 4-hour course, and the book is on Amazon, so someone could buy the book or they could take the course. And I'm just trying to think about it from a TikTok perspective. What would be a strategy for someone who hasn't never done TikTok, maybe has that kind of a course or something like that, has something to teach, has something to share and motivate people to take care of themselves and take care of their financial future? What would be your advice for someone like me in relation to TikTok?
Actually, you are more than perfect, to have a TikTok channel because, the way that you present, like the way you speak right now is so clear, easy to understand. And of course, you have, tons of experience in the topics that you are presenting. It's just the way that you, how to say, package your video content. So you don't want to go, straight on talking about ROI, talking about the interest rate, going up and how you want to focus onto a certain stock. No, you don't want to go for that. You want to start your video content by, okay, do you want to go to Japan next year? Do you want to have like 100,000 to put the down payment for your first car? You want to start like that, yeah. Because I've been working with, most of the Thai banks, already. I'm representing their product and services.
Mm.
So their market research, is so clear in terms of the content. Instead of telling people that if you invest on this mutual fund platform, this is what you will get. This is the money that you will get. No, we take that, we put that aside, and the platform actually start asking, okay, what do you want to get next year? So some people say, okay, I want to go to Niseko, Hokkaido with my family next year. I need 200,000. And then straight away the platform just come in and say, okay, then you have to put in 5,000 baht every month onto this, this platform, and then that's how you will get the money. Yeah. So the same way, if you started off by something that people think that they want money, but in fact they want money to buy something that they actually want, right? So that third thing, that final thing, that is the thing that you need to come, to put into the first 3 seconds of your video. You can just sit and talk just like the way you do right now. Yeah, it's just like I have quite a number of clients who don't want to do like role play, who don't want to like go sexy, who don't want to show like sports car, things like that. Yeah. So they just sit and talk, and of course it's gonna take a bit longer, but within like 6 to 9 months they can achieve 100,000 followers anyway. Yeah.
Well, that's great knowledge for the listeners out there and for myself. You've got me interested, and I've had a bunch of people talk to me about doing it, including some of my young interns that did set up some accounts, and we started doing it because they were like, when I'm with you, it's like every day you're spitting out words of wisdom from your own experience, and you're guiding these interns. Maybe we should just record, short clips of what you said. And I was like, let's do it. So I see a lot of opportunity now that you've taught me. So let me, I think you and I need to talk more about that. But meanwhile, it's time to share your worst investment ever. And since no one goes into their worst investment thinking it will be, tell us a bit about the circumstances leading up to it, and then tell us your story.
Okay. Actually, my main business is actually property investment. I've been in a property investment for since 2005, and it started off just like any newcomer in the property industry. I just flipped condo for a few years until I got enough fun, and then starting, to expand into building, residential estate, service apartments, So everything, I thought that I was very good at site analysis. Site analysis is something that is so important. We always say location, location, location 3 times. Why? Because if you get the location right, nothing could go wrong, actually. Yeah. And that very thing that I thought I was very good at is actually my very mistake on this particular project, which is very near to our Bangkok airport, Suvarnabhumi airport. I believe that the better way to invest in a property is not to be the first mover. Yeah, that's what I believe. I want to see how people perform. I don't mind being the second mover. I don't mind earning a bit less, but the key point is that I want to make sure that it's not too risky. Yeah. So what I want to share here today is that site analysis could be something that is quite tricky in for this project. Okay, I bought this land back in like 2010, if I'm not mistaken, and to build a hotel, an airport hotel with some kind of retail space, yeah, so that people can just check in the hotels, and then when they feel get bored, right, they can just come down, get a cup of coffee, get maybe Thai massage, or even go Thai boxing. They can ride, rent the bikes and then go riding, near Suvarnabhumi airport, or in the sky lane, or even the Suvarnabhumi night market. Yeah, it's just to want to make it like differentiated from other hotels where they just stand alone, nothing. When it's dark at night, it's so dark and quiet. It doesn't look safe. Yeah, so they just have to stay in a hotel and order grabs. But at this project, you don't have to do that. So what happened is that the hotel was okay, but the retail couldn't survive. And this project actually sit on the main street, right on the main street leading to the airport. The problem is that that particular street, right, regardless of how the local people, I mean, the people who were native, to that particular area near the airport, warned me that this zone is not okay to do, restaurants, cafes, They say that they have been here for like 3 generations already, and no one makes it, here. But of course, me, didn't believe in those. Anyone who is not a property professional, I don't listen to.
Yep.
I thought that was wise, but yeah, it happens that in this project here, somehow, okay, the traffic, I mean, the road traffic, the human traffic just seems to be a bit off, I mean, and that is how even today, I still have problem trying to fill up the retail space. Most people, the tenant come in, if they do any kind of like, retail that rely on human traffic, that's it. That they're not doing well. Yeah, but and it has been like that for the past 10 years already. Yeah, so that.
And when was it? I'm just curious, like when was it that you realized, oh, maybe the people, the natives of this area were right, and I should have listened to them? Like, did that come about immediately, or you were like, no, I can make this work? But then there was like some day that you realized it's not going to work, or it's not working.
It took me about 5 to 6 years to realize that something was not, something was wrong, because the lease term is 3 years. So yeah, we have every 3 years we have a tenant turnover. So yeah, and then tenants start talking that, hey, something is wrong. They did very good signage right in the front. People come in, try the product, they like it, they like the food, they like the cup of coffee, but they never come back. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And how did you feel once you kind of realized the mistake that you made or what you overlooked? How did it make you feel?
Andrew, sometimes when you can't really get to know what actually went wrong, is that kind of frustration. No matter, because I have a lot of consultants, that I can call and get them to come and have a look. They all can't figure out, what was the problem. Yeah, I even get like one of the best architect in here in Thailand to go
Mm.
there just to check. I mean, if the signage was a bit off,
Yeah.
or even the the layout of the whole project was wrong. I even get those fortune teller,
Yep.
Chinese version and the
Sure.
Thai version to come in and have a look. Yeah, try
Yeah.
all kinds of things. And I, but anyway, you know, I started to change the tenant
Mm.
mix, to
Yep.
to to bring in. I mean, the solution. We can talk about the solution
Well,
later.
let's
Yeah.
let's talk about the lessons that you learned from this experience. I mean, it is a valuable thing, and you already went into this experience with a lot of experience and knowledge. So I can imagine that you really have learned a lot from that.
The lesson learned is that listen to the elder. Yes, no matter what experience that they have, but just because they were there the whole life, so you should listen to them really. I mean, listen to the elder. I mean, being a like overseas graduate like me, sometimes I just don't listen enough. Yeah, I don't think I think I am a good listener, but
Mm.
maybe I'm too selective. In terms of the being overconfident. Yeah,
Yep.
I would say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Maybe I'll share a couple things that I take away. I think that's the first thing I wrote down when you started talking about when what people said in that area. I said ancient wisdom. I wrote down, and I wrote down wisdom of elders. And truthfully, what's happening when we go to MBA school and we go to do all of this quantitative stuff and analysis, all we're doing is we're trying to quantify what they already see. You know, there's different ways of observing something. One way is collecting specific data into specific data sets, into specific analysis software. That's one way. Another way is just sit there for a couple of days and look at it. There are very many real estate professionals around the world that just go and sit in front of a place for a couple of days and just look at it in the daytime, at the nighttime, and they just think about it. And that's something that I think it's what's missing sometimes in this world with young people is they think that the answer is going to come through statistics and all of that, but they don't realize that, okay, the answer can come through those statistics, but statistics is just one way of getting information that we need to make a decision. So that was kind of the first thing that I was thinking about. And the second thing is I just wanted to talk about that feeling you talked about, frustration. It's one thing to just, blindly lose money. You just go in and you buy some Bitcoin and it crashes by 50%. It's like, it's not frustration. It's just, you're just mad. What did I do? You're just disappointed with yourself or whatever. But this point of when you're making an investment into something as substantial as what you're talking about, it's not something you just run away from. You just can't, I'm going to get out of this. It's not a liquid investment. So you have to deal with it. And then there's this frustration of, I wish I had started it this way. I wish I had designed it this way. And those are some of those frustrations you can solve, but some you can't. Like trying to bring in, the feng shui or other types of, Thai spirit house and all the other different things. To think maybe I could do something here. A little change would make a big difference. But it's frustrating when even that doesn't work. And then so I do want to just highlight those two things, as you've already talked about, listening to the elders and understanding that wisdom that we have out there doesn't. We can respect the wisdom that's not in a database. That's number one. Number two is that part of the critical thing about trying to help people to avoid making the same mistakes that we've made is we can help you avoid the frustration and disappointment and those feelings. Anything you would add to that?
Yeah, definitely. And when we work, right, sometimes people try to talk to you, all right? Not only the elder, but other people as well. People try to talk to you, but you can't hear it. Somehow you can't hear it. You don't, it just doesn't get into your head. Yeah, so you have to be really aware, of those information always. Yeah, that's what I want to say is that sometimes in your life, you don't listen enough, really.
Mm.
Yeah, so it happens. Even you know, I actually, Andrew, I actually was very quite aggressive in terms of my investment
Mm.
until I meet this fortune teller. But he gave me I told him just like what I told you, right, and the audience just now. He told me that okay, I need to change my phone number. So I did. I changed the phone number and all the numbers that is there. It's not a nice number. I can't even remember the number, today. It's so difficult to remember, but all the numbers actually represent the power that would keep me calm and alert. Okay. And I bought it. I bought the number. Quite expensive, but I
Mm.
bought it. But anyway, it works. Now I'm more careful. I'm a lot more thoughtful. I'm actually more cool down, when I listen to people. I
Mm.
speak less, I listen a lot more. But of course, I don't think that's about the number, but it's just the thing that the fortune teller told me, during that 1 hour that I need to change. And the
And you
number
did.
can help. Yeah.
The number was just a symbolism, maybe, that helped you make that change. So, based upon what you learned from this story and what you continue to learn, what one action would you recommend our listeners take? I can imagine, they're standing in front of a piece of land, they're standing in front of a building, they've got their imagination of what this is going to be. This is going to be amazing. Let's help them. What one action would you tell them to do?
Okay. There are always two groups of people, when you ask them to make to when you consult with them, right? One agree with you, this is good. They tell you all the good things,
Mm.
and there's also those what we call devil advocates, right? People who don't agree. Inside you have to be really neutral. You have to really justify all the facts, with all the reasoning.
Mm.
People who might not have the data on the reason, but they know that they are there. They have seen enough, to tell us, what they think and why they think is not the right thing to do.
Mm.
You better listen to that, and you better find out. You better look into it. You better scrutinize, to the bottom of why they are saying that.
Yep.
Because that one little thing that you don't think is gonna be a big deal later could be the very reason why things don't go according to plan. So
Great. Search
yes,
out that person and listen to them.
yes,
Great, great
exactly.
advice. And I'm going to give a little additional advice to the listeners out there. I remember when I first started my first job at Pepsi in Los Angeles, and I was working in the factory and I was a supervisor. I was just a young guy and I didn't know much. And I was working with all of these guys that had been working in this factory for decades. So what I had is I had a little notebook, a flip notebook that I took notes on. I kept that in my top pocket. And every time that something happened, every time that someone spoke, I wrote it down. And then nowadays, I still have not that flip notebook, but I've created my own notebook. It's a planner book. And I use this planner book. I've designed it just the way I use it. And I use that planner book to take notes. And I always tell my interns when they're working with me, particularly young people, I'm looking at one right here that was originally an intern. And basically, what I tell them is don't come in front of me without a notepad and a pen and a paper. Don't do that. And I try to get people to take the habit of writing down. Why? First thing is, it's very difficult to speak and write at the same time. So writing forces you to listen. The second thing is writing allows you to remember what was said to you. And that's the first, and sometimes you may not hear it that well the first time, but when you go back and someone says, well, what did they say? Oh, okay, here's what they said. So write it down, ladies and gentlemen. That would be my advice. So what is a resource that you'd recommend for our listener? I know you've got a lot of resources. Let me know.
Okay, yes. Actually, I have written a few books. It's actually a video book. So normally the books over here we sell at about 200-300 baht, right? But my books we are selling at 2,000 baht. Yeah, with less than 100 pages. But you go in there, right? There will be QR codes on different pages. Once you scan it, you see me on a video,
Talking
explaining
about that subject.
what that. Yeah, and it works quite well. Yeah. So
And
that is
where can people find that?
oh, they can just maybe just drop by on my Facebook, Dr. Oppa. Yeah,
Yep.
if you Google, if you are in Thailand and you go for like Google Thailand, right? Then you put Dr. Oppa, dr.oppa,
Yep.
then the whole page, first page, that's me. So you can just connect to me anywhere.
Great. And I'll put the link to that in the show notes so that anybody can click on that. And it's an interesting idea. I like that idea, and its time has come for that type of video book with QR codes. So that's fascinating. I think there's a lot we can learn from you on this. So my last question for you is, what is your personal or professional number one goal for the next 12 months?
Okay, yes. Next 12 months, just like the past 12 months, we some of our hotels are affected by COVID, just like any other hotels. Yeah. So the next 12 months, we are trying to, we have been actually trying to get the empty rooms to be occupied by, some other businesses, just like what we have done, already is the live streaming room for rent. Yeah, things like that. Mini office. Yeah, we turn the hotel unit, take the bed out, put in the working desk in, and then they can just rent it as the. Yeah, I'm doing all of that just so that the staff can sustain their living.
That's
Because
great.
now, even nowadays, I let them stay in the hotel rooms and give them some food so that they can stay alive. But at the same time, yeah, if we can earn more, yeah, definitely, I wanna keep paying salary to them as well. Yeah. So that's
Well, there you go, listeners. Another story of loss to keep you winning. If you haven't yet taken the risk reduction assessment, I challenge you to go to myworstinvestmentever.com right now and start building wealth the easy way by reducing risk. As we conclude, Tay, I want to thank you again for joining our mission. And on behalf of A Stotz Academy, I hereby award you alumni status for turning your worst investment ever into your best teaching moment. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
okay. So thank you very much for listening today, and I hope that Andrew and I today can really stop someone from really losing another dollar from the mistake that I made. Thank you.
You have definitely contributed to that mission. And that's a wrap on another great story to help us create, grow, and protect our wealth. Fellow risk takers, this is your worst podcast host, Andrew Stotz, saying thank you for joining this mission, and I'll see you on the upside.